Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 action thriller Paradise City, a film that is directed by Chuck Russell, and it stars Bruce Willis, John Travolta, Stephen Dorff, Amber Arborough, and Blake Jenner. Right. The film focuses on Blake Jenner's character, Ryan Swan, who essentially is trying to find out who has killed his father, who is played by Bruce Willis. Now, we meet Bruce Willis right at the beginning of this film. He is some kind of bounty hunter. He has got someone in his custody, and he is apparently gunned down. This isn't a spoiler. This happens within the first 5 minutes of the film. We are then introduced to Stephen Dorff's character, who is another bounty hunter that used to work with Bruce Willis. He teams up with Bruce Willis's son, played by Blake Jenner, in order to track down who apparently shot down his father. This leads them to the local mobster, Buckley, played by John Travolta. Right. What are my thoughts on Paradise City? I nearly said Paradise Alley then. Okay, let's get some positives out of the way first. It does look quite beautiful at times, this film. It is based in Hawaii. I don't know if it was filmed in Hawaii, but it's certainly set in Hawaii. It's made to look like it's set in Hawaii. So it does look quite pretty. There's some decent production values going on here. And some of the action scenes, when you get them, are of a decent standard, while being nothing outstanding. They're quite 10-15 years ago type of decent, I suppose. And Stephen Dorff's okay. Not that I think his character offers anything to this film, but Stephen Dorff's okay. Beyond that, I can't really give you many positives with this film. This is a pretty poor outing, and it just really, to me, screams of putting two famous faces on the poster who aren't in the film an awful lot. Bruce Willis or John Travolta are not in this film an awful lot. And then people can get excited and think, oh, we've got Bruce Willis and John Travolta in a film again. Ooh, we haven't seen them on screen since Pulp Fiction, sort of thing. Trust me, guys, it is not a selling point having either of these guys in this film. We all know what is going on with Bruce Willis right now. There's no sense treading over old ground. And I'm not going to go in on Bruce Willis here. I actually don't think he's too bad here, other than the fact that it's one of those Bruce Willis films where whenever he's shot from behind or there's any action scenes where they can get away with it, it's a body double. It's not Bruce Willis. So, you know, he's not in the film a great deal anyway, and a lot of the shots are not even Bruce Willis. Forget that. He's not a big part of the film, to be fair, Bruce Willis. John Travolta, on the other hand, who is in this film a little bit more, playing this like mobster guy, Hawaiian mobster, is appalling in this film. I mean, John Travolta, we know, can do a good villainous role. We've seen him do good villainous roles. This is like a phoned-in, minimum effort, pantomime villain performance by John Travolta, and it's amongst, I think, probably his worst performances. And he's done a few stinkers this last decade or so, I suppose it's fair to say. Yeah, John Travolta is worse than Bruce Willis in this film, and that's not a slight on Bruce Willis. At least Bruce Willis has an excuse, you know, for not being particularly good in movies these days. What is John Travolta's excuse? I genuinely don't know. And there are some fringe characters in this film, and the performances from those are really bad as well. And there's too many to mention, really. I think the only one... Well, there's only two here that I think... And these essentially are the main stars of the film. You've got the guy playing Bruce Willis's son in the film, Blake Jenner, playing Ryan. And I think it's Amber Arborough playing Jerry. No, not her, sorry. It's Stephen Dorff, who give arguably decent performances. But again, the Stephen Dorff character... I can't honestly explain to you why he's in this film. His character offers nothing to this film. And it's one of those nonsensical plots that absolutely means nothing. It's about him looking for the person that's killed his dad. It's also got something to do with corrupt elections, plastic surgeries, drug cartels. I mean, literally, the plot is all over the place, and it can't lay its hat on any one plot device, this film. And there's a really bad scene. Well, there's lots of bad scenes, but there's a really terrible scene in this film where Blake Jenner, who plays Bruce Willis' son in the film, he goes to like this Hawaiian island type place. And this guy wants to find out if he really is Bruce Willis's son. So he takes him into this like hut, drugs him. I don't know how that's going to find out if he's Bruce Willis's son. And then something happens after that I don't want to spoil. And you're just kind of like, that's like the most ridiculous way of trying to prove that it was his son. Just ask the question. So the film is nonsensical. It's got full of terrible dialogue. It's dull. There's a couple of adequate action scenes, but it's like full of characters, and I couldn't honestly tell you what their names were. It's one of those films with completely forgettable characters. And it just really exists, I think, to put Travolta and Bruce Willis on a poster to try and sell it. Other than that, there is nothing to recommend here, guys. It is really, really bad, in my opinion, this one. So, yeah, that's my review for Paradise City. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. I'll be back with more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.